post Super Bowl.
I didn't.
Get a week off post Super Bowl, then right back in it with a little car racing.
I didn't get money on that one. We're going to get to Jimmy G in a second. But first, Grizzlies and Pelicans. John Morant, man, he's good.
I told you, Coach, get your youngest on the bandwagon. Ja's the next superstar.
He's becoming that guy that you have to tune in to watch. Zion, we'll see if he can become that guy tomorrow, but Ja is that guy for sure.
Blazers and Warriors. Dame Lillard hitting a nasty step-back three-pointer. Part of an incredible night for him.
61 points against the Wobegon Warriors in an overtime victory. Dame's second career 60-point game. One of the shortest players ever to have a 60-point game, 6'2" or under.
Celtics, Lakers, but really just Celtics. Jaylen Brown drives, rises over LeBron, finishes the big slam.
I didn't realize before that was over LeBron.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it? You can't be the greatest of all time and get dunked on like that, can you?
Okay, sure.
Jaylen Brown's passing him as the GOAT right now.
That's right.
That's our next segment.
He scored it. Yeah, you got it. That's
Great point, Coach. I like doing this.
It's like I'm out here with 3 Chris Mannixes.
So, Mount St. Mary's taking on St. Francis and Nana Opoku.
I'd rather get dunked on than have this happen. Watch this.
This is
charge.
I mean, first of all, either contest or get out the way. Second of all, that is not how you would fall if you took a charge.
No.
Take a 45-degree angle towards the half court. What are you doing, kiddo?
That was a last-minute business decision if I'm going to get out of the way. But the fact that he still tried to sell it, falling over, that's the embarrassing factor.
That's a great job, though, by the Mount St. Mary's
Absolutely.
player, Nana Opoku. I've got him 138 on my big board. I don't do that.
Danny, you want to play a little in around?
Let's do it.
Jimmy G has just 208 passing yards in the Niners' 2 wins combined this postseason. They might need more than that to have a chance against a Chiefs team averaging 43 points in the playoffs. So, Danny, you win around on Jimmy G being able to carry the Niners to a Super Bowl win.
I'm in. I think, and this is a lot of part, this is a trust, and if Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch trusted him enough to build him this franchise around him, that I'm going to trust that they can help elevate him to the next level. But we've also seen him do it before. It is no easy task to go into New Orleans against Drew Brees and to go toe-to-toe for him, to need a drive to win the game in the fourth quarter, and he does it. I think it's in him. I think their game plan clearly would be, let's try to steer away from that. But if necessary, I think it could be in Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's in him as well. And when you look at his body of work over the course of the season, it's a lot of good numbers. There's a lot of good football. There's a lot of impressive things that he did. He does have a make something happen element to him, where when you're a make something happen quarterback, sometimes you make something happen for you, and sometimes you make something happen for them. So he'd have to limit those critical mistakes for him to carry it.
I'm out. That is not me saying I'm out on the Niners' ability to win the game. But if this becomes a Jimmy Garoppolo game, they lose. They cannot win this game on the arm of Jimmy Garoppolo. They're going to have to win this game on the backs of their defense and in their running game. If he has to throw the ball 35-plus times, they're going to lose this football game. Also, I'm excited for the Super Bowl narrative that hasn't quite popped up yet. We always talk about the Bears taking Trubisky over Mahomes. The Niners traded that pick. They got the 3rd pick. They didn't have Jimmy G yet. They needed a quarterback. They took Solomon Thomas, who's probably been the least productive of all those first-round defensive linemen when they needed a quarterback. They could have had Mahomes or Watson on a much cheaper contract, maybe an even better team they have right now. So I'm out for a number of reasons.
They could have gone all the way back and taken Aaron Rodgers, too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. How about that? Now, that narrative will exist.
On to Dez Bryant. Now, he hasn't played in the NFL since 2017, but he is lobbying for return to the Cowboys. He tweeted, "Give me the Witten role." Danny, you went around on Dallas signing Dez Bryant.
I'm in. Bring him in, see if he's healthy, give him a chance. He's only 31 years old. I think we forget that sometimes. I know he's been out of the league for 2 years, but at his position, I don't think it's that crazy to think he can come back in, get in football shape, learn the system. It's a different coach with Mike McCarthy, so I think you give him that leash. There's a better relationship than it was a bad relationship with Jason Garrett, so why not bring it in?
Yeah, I'm out. Sometimes when you have a breakup, you can be a little bit nostalgic about the person you broke up with, but there was a lot of stuff there that didn't work, and to try to reinvigorate that, I think it's better just to move on.
Yeah, I'm in. I think a lot of the beef there was with Garrett. Garrett's now gone. Also, I do like the idea of him having the exact Jason Witten role, meaning tight end. How about Dez? Put on a little bit of weight. They need a tight end spot, little pass-catching tight end. See if he can do it. Have to work on his blocking a bit. But in his prime, he was a decent blocker as a wide receiver. Listen, if the Cowboys are into giving jobs to guys who are way past their prime, which they did with Witten, why can't Dez get on that train? Dez would not be less productive as a number 3 wide receiver than Witten was as one of their tight ends. I'm in. Give it a shot. I'd like to see how that works. Mike McCarthy doesn't have enough on his plate. Bring Dez.
It's low risk. Pay him minimum. See how he is. See how he gets in.
Reports are swirling that the Bengals have already decided they'll take LSU quarterback Joe Burrow with the first overall pick. However, a Bengals exec disputed that report. Danny, I'll ask you in or out on Burrow being the number 1 pick in the NFL draft?
I am in. Coach, he's the greatest prospect we've seen.
He's a generational talent. He's going to change the game.
No, but I will say this. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals need a quarterback. He's the best quarterback available. I know Chase Young from Ohio State is attractive, but the tendency we've seen over the past decade or 15 years has been that teams overdraft quarterbacks. I think there's a greater chance you could see Tua Tagovailoa move all the way up to 2 or 3 as well, because teams get desperate and they say, if we find a guy that we like, we're going to take him. I think the team is going to fall in love. He's from there. I think all the aspects, when you look at the film, there's not much negative on this year's film. I think they're all in. I think it's a done deal.
So most coaches were on vacation after the season, and now they're kind of getting back in the office, getting back in the routine, going to the Senior Bowl, and now things with the draft start changing dramatically. So whatever narrative there is right now in terms of where players are is going to be so dramatically different at the end. I'll go in on this because it has a little bit of a Bernie Kosar feel to it. I like the story of him being, his dad coaching in Ohio, at Ohio U in Athens, him being the player of the year. I think that whole part of it makes it a really nice story to go with a team that's in need. And look, what he did in the playoff run was impressive. So I'll go in.
Look, they are going to take him number 1 overall. I would wager any amount of money on that, but I wouldn't. So I'm out. I think Tua's the pick. I think Tua's going to be better. I understand there are major injury concerns with Tua. I think Tua can be a star quarterback in the NFL. I think Joe Burrow can be a good quarterback.
Maybe Tua end up in New England.
I think that would be his.
He'll learn one year behind Brady, and then he'll take over.
Well, that would I'm telling you right now, if the Patriots end up,
well, you'll have to back them.
Tua, I am going to lose my mind. That would mean the Dolphins passed on him, and they. No.
See, I don't think there's no way.
Not today, Satan. We're not even talking about that.
Don't you think it would be extremely out of character for them to trade all the way up to have to get him in the top 5 to get in front of the Dolphins?
This past year they drafted a wide receiver, and he hadn't done that in 23 years. So what's
Stop
that?
putting it.
He loves Saban. They have a great relationship.
Brady stays for a year. He cultivates them.
Absolutely. He said he wanted to make
maybe in 2 years.
I'm reporting right now Tua, if he's drafted by the Patriots, won't go.
And then,
that's what I'm hearing.
Oh, really?
That's what I'm hearing. And we're not talking about this anymore. Coach, we'll see you later in the show. Coming up, are the Niners the only team in the NFL can stop Patrick Mahomes? That's next on First Things First. Stop bringing up this craziness.
But Tua could be the greatest prospect.